Hello, and welcome to the Business Aviation Collective podcast, sponsored by LD Aviation. Today, we welcome Anna Lovelace from Universal and Wings of Love to our podcast. Welcome, Anna.
Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking your time to talk to us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very excited.
We're excited to talk to you as well. So Nathan Shelley recommended your story to us because he said you have a fascinating story. We want to hear all about Wings of Love, which is the program, the organization that you started. But before we jump into that, I always like to know, how did you even get into the industry? Is aviation been a love of yours from the beginning? How did you start?
It really wasn't. My late brother, back in 2007, he got me a job at World Fuel. So I started at World Fuel in dispatch, worked with him for about 2.5 years, which was really fun. Really enjoyed the time together. And then from World Fuel, I transitioned over to Universal Weather and Aviation. It was a little bit closer to home and more convenient. So him and I eventually became competitors. I took a job over at Universal Weather and Aviation. I did start in their field department as well. And then in 2013, I transitioned over into account management for them.
Okay, excellent. So account management, what does that all include?
So in account management, what I'm responsible for is the retention of our Northeast client base. I oversee about 50 customers and just making sure that their experience with Universal Weather and Aviation is a good one, following up on the trips. I'm more customer facing and just ensuring that they are happy with us and just the retention of those accounts.
Okay, that's awesome. 50 clients, so that's a lot of them.
It is, yeah.
Do you get to do a lot of travel up into the Northeast area?
I do on occasion. We haven't done a bunch of travel just because they're just getting into their springtime. So I do try to avoid the Northeast during the winter. I am a Texas girl through and through. I do like my warmer seasons. So now that we are getting into the warmer months, I will be doing some traveling up there, but love the Northeast.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Originally from Minnesota, but live in California now. Spent time in Georgia. I do appreciate not being snowed in, 6 months out of the year. So
yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. Very cool. Okay, so you did a little bit with World Fuel, you worked with Universal, and then something big in your life happened and you created Wings of Love.
I did.
Tell us about that.
The brother that got me into aviation back in 2007, in July of 2016, him and his wife were heading out to Fredericksburg, Texas from here in Houston. They took off from West Houston Airport when their small airplane crashed shortly after takeoff, and it killed everybody on board. Wow. They did leave behind 2 children, 13 and 15 at the time. And just kind of in the aftermath of working through my own grief with a counselor, one of the questions she asked me, what did you love most about Eric? And I said, what I love most about him was that he was so selfless. He helped everybody. And her recommendation to me was, find a way to honor that memory of him. So just started really brainstorming, what could I do? And in Googling and searching, are there resources for children who have lost a parent after an aviation-related accident? Financially, there just wasn't. And so it was that was it. That's what I wanted to do, be able to give back that way.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how the idea was born.
Well, I mean, I say awesome. That's not sensitive. Certainly not awesome that your brother and his wife passed away, but what a great process that you did to get to where you're at now. So how many years? It's been 2 years since you started?
So I started the nonprofit, the process, in August of 2021. We did a soft launch in March of 2022. And then we did our official launch on July 7th last summer. And we've hosted 2 events from there. A lot of the sponsorships and fundraising has been done between myself and Kristin Gilliam, who's my VP, also one of my very closest friends. And together we raised over $50,000 in just a year.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So then I've got to ask, for the people listening, what if they wanted to donate or maybe join or help out? How can they do that?
Yeah, and if anybody wants to get in touch, as far as, helping out with sponsorships, fundraising, or just getting involved, they can reach out to myself through LinkedIn. They can reach out to Kristin Gilliam as well. We also have a LinkedIn page, Instagram page, and a Facebook page. It's all labeled Wings of Love. And then the website is wingsofloveaviation.org.
Wonderful.
And they can contact us through there too.
Okay, wonderful. I'll make sure that we have that. So anybody listening, it'll be tagged down here at the bottom of the post. So
that'd be great. Thank you.
Well, what a difficult time period to go through. I guess I'm kind of curious, is there something like, what if somebody else out there is going through something similar? Any suggestions for them?
My suggestion would be that, like, afterwards, I know the NTSB, they do provide those the resources, getting you the help that you need, connecting you with the right people as far as, counseling type help. That would be my recommendation, is definitely start there. I would also look at, our website does have some resources as well. There is an organization on there, and gosh, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we do have resources that are listed within the website. Okay. That people can connect with. And it's a little bit different than what we do, but it's nice because we've had these other, aviation resources come to us and say, we want to support you. How can we do that? And in turn, we want to do the same for them.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. So how about some successes that you've had in your life? I mean, obviously Wings of Love is a success, and being able to stay in with one company for 13 and some years. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I think my biggest success, if I had to pick one, would definitely be just overseeing the Northeast Territory. Like, I love the people there. I love the friendships that I've made. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a nurturer by nature, and just like having customers that are just like friends to me, like they're like family. Like, I have customers who have met my children, they have met my mom, and that to me is just absolutely special. And I consider that just such a success in itself, because when you can kind of cross over from just like that customer like relationship into friendship, and you trust them, and they're people you would invite to your home, or they invite you to their home, that to me is just a successful part of your career.
Yeah, very much agreed. And I think that also like kind of brings into why we're doing these podcasts, is that we really are trying to get more people to get to know each other in this industry. And, we get a chance to maybe meet each other on these conferences, but they're very short and very quick and everything. And I think relationships are huge in this industry. Networking is huge.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
This is kind of the way we get to do it now these days, for podcasts and Zoom and Teams meetings. You obviously are very successful in what you do and in creating your regular work as well as your Wings of Love. Are there any routines? Like, are you an early riser? Is there something that you do every day that just helps you get through?
Exercise, being outdoors in the sunny weather, that for me just helps a lot. And I try to create the same routine every day. Like, as far as what I want to tackle first thing in the morning, and it's usually what's come in overnight by the emails, and being able to get back to those customers. And usually by the middle of the day, that's when I start to work on action items that I've created for myself. And by the end of the day, I'm now working towards, what does the rest of my week look like? What do I need to plan for by the following week? So that for me has helped me. Okay. It keeps me consistent.
All right, great. Any tools that you use pretty religiously to do that?
I don't. I'm very old school. I have to write everything down.
Sure. Yeah.
I need pen and paper.
I do a lot of pen and paper. In fact, I have, not that I'm plugging this little tablet, but there's a tablet called the Remarkable, and I can do all of my notes. It's like writing on pen and paper, but it stores it and will upload it digitally in a Word format, or it will send it via email.
That's
Love
amazing.
It. Yeah. I'm sure you could do something like that with the iPad as well, but this Remarkable, I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, that would be great while traveling too.
Yeah, that's true, because I don't have to bring a bunch of different notes. I mean, I'm pretty notorious for having 15 different notes on my desk, but this really helps me keep it all focused on one side.
Yeah, so I'm a Post-it girl.
Yeah, yep, that's right. Okay, so thinking back, if you are, maybe you've got somebody young who's coming into the industry, and is there one thing that you could say to them that they should learn or somebody they should reach out to you?
Two pieces of advice actually there, and they kind of go hand in hand. But what I would recommend to someone that is just entering the industry and wants to know how to get a little bit better connected and really get a feel for, who's out there, who they really want to connect with, I would say start with your local aviation groups, your regional aviation groups, start there. And then the NBAA YoPro, they love to just connect people. And I think the misconception around the NBAA YoPro because of the 40 under 40 is like, oh, you can't be a YoPro because you're over 40. And that is not at all how we are put together. We want all walks of life to come in, because if you have someone who's a little bit older that can mentor someone that is just coming into the industry, it's a great way to get connected because you never know who those people know. So I would say, number one, get involved with your regional groups. Two, get connected through the NBAA YoPro, and you can go to the website through NBAA and get involved.
Great. We'll make sure that's tagged down here below. Okay, I want to hear more about that too. So where, one, you were featured as one of the top 40 under 40 last year, right?
I was, yes.
Awesome. So how was that how did you get nominated?
I think just through random customers, friends, and I was primarily recognized just for the Wings of Love stuff, which was really nice because that really it's a labor of love. And it wasn't just a labor of love for me, like I mentioned earlier, Kristin Gilliam, who is my VP, it was a labor of love for her as well. So for us to have that recognition and for people to hear more about us was just very, very honorable.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations. And I would love to hear more about that because I think you're right. I think the industry in general feels like it's the 40 under 40, like you can't be over 40.
Right. You can't be a part of it. 40. I am on the YoPro Council. I did join last year, which has been really great to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes and know how we can get involved. We've got a week in DC that's coming up, and we get to meet with like the Senate and the House and talk a little bit more on the aviation side of things, on the GA side, which I'm really looking forward to learning more about that, hearing more about it, and just seeing how, we can get more involved. But we've got different advocacy groups and that, we meet about every other week, and then all the other groups meet independently as well. So it's just really cool to see all that stuff kind of take place behind the scenes and see how we're helping the general aviation, business aviation side of things.
That's wonderful. I always see stuff popping up and events and stuff that you guys are hosting. Any favorite advocacy group or event that you've done?
Not necessarily. The group that I'm a part of is an advocacy group, and I'm still pretty new to it, so can't elaborate too much on it. But hopefully after June, I'll have a little bit more. Just right now, it's all learning, and then just giving us like, hey, here's what we talked about. Here's what's going on now, and this is what we're going to be looking at in June. So we've got about 3-4 days, I think, in June total. We'll go over to the Capitol. The YoPro team is going to get together, go to a baseball game. We're going to do some volunteer work for one of the schools. So just like the whole giving back to the community is just something that I really love and I look forward to. Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers, for people to join the different groups. So if anybody's interested, definitely go to the NBAA YoPro page and get involved.
All right. Sounds great. I don't think that program is really old, but what a great idea, whoever brought that up originally, because it really feels like, I'm not part of it, but it really feels like y'all are doing really good things and you're motivated and things are getting accomplished. There are times that programs get, maybe the word is stale, because they're not producing, they're not moving forward. And it just seems like YoPro is just constantly moving forward and just making headway all the time.
Yeah. And one of the events that we just recently started hosting is like a happy hour. It's not a happy hour, but like everyone gets together virtually in the evening. And, again, like we will post the link on LinkedIn. Anybody's welcome to join that wants to hear more about what we're doing, how they can get involved. And so we've done 2 now. It's just really cool to see people that are interested and want to learn more about us, and they jump on the call, and it's just a nice hour getting to see different people and just connect.
Oh, that's great. Okay. We'll pop that link in there as well so people can find that. Do you guys have a Facebook group as well? Or is that kind of for the old people, I guess? Or like me.
No, there is a Facebook group. There is one on LinkedIn and another one on Instagram.
Okay. Wonderful. So you guys are all over. Well, that makes sense since social media is younger people are oftentimes really good at that.
Oh yeah, that is the way now. That's how we connect.
Right? It sure is. Cool. Well, what other items do you think you would like? What other things have you learned along the way that you'd like to tell people about?
I think attending the industry events is probably the biggest. I think attending the industry events is like the one thing that I've learned the most about, because you get to see all the different sides of business aviation. Like for me and what I do on the day-to-day side, we're more on the international trip support side. But when you go to the events, you get to see everything that kind of connects everybody. You get to meet so many different people. There's always so many events going on. So I think the industry events has definitely helped me learn so much just about the different pieces of this industry and how it all ties together.
Yeah.
From your aircraft manufacturers to your aviation manuals or your SMS products, there's just so much out there that I think when someone comes into aviation, you may only necessarily know the FBO side, and or someone else may only know the charter side of things. And there's so much more out there. So I think that's been the biggest thing for me.
I agree. Yeah. Those are super helpful. And the classes and the sessions that you get to learn about. Yeah. So which one do you go to? What's one that you go to commonly? Is it S&D or is it usually the main NBAA, or are there separate ones?
The big NBAA is the one that I typically attend every year.
Yeah. That's a good one. I think we went in October of last year. I think it was Orlando.
Nice. Oh gosh, that one was so busy.
Yeah, it was really big. Huge. The floor was huge. So yeah, I agree. Going to those industry events are really important. Because other than this and maybe some of your YoPro and smaller groups, that's really the only place to network in person.
Yeah.
Your regional groups.
In the NBAA YoPro, we are trying to host some sort of like networking reception at every major event. So this year coming up at NBAA, we'll host one there. And again, like everybody is welcome. Like you don't have to be 40 and under. You can be any age. So we never want anyone to feel like they are not welcome. Everybody is welcome to join and connect and meet people and get connected.
That's great. Well, maybe I'll stop by in the next one. That would be fun.
You'd love
Meet
that.
you guys some more. So excellent. Well, Anna, you really have had, Nathan was right. You have a really great story. And so sorry to hear about your brother and his wife, but what a great thing that you're doing going forward for others.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was good to talk to you. And if somebody wanted to reach out to you and just ask you maybe directly about Wings of Love or something about your pathway, how would they get a hold of you?
So they can reach out to me through my LinkedIn. More than welcome to reach out to me there. They can visit the website, which is wingsofloveaviation.org. And then they can always email us at info@wingsofloveaviation.org, and happy to chat with anybody.
All right. Wonderful. Sounds good. Thank you again very much, Anna. And I appreciate your time. And
Thank you. It was great.
We'll check in with you again in a couple months and see how everything's going.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate it.
But thank you for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes and check out our website for up-and-coming podcasts. This has been a production of the Business Aviation Collective, sponsored by LD Aviation.